Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be talking about Ranan. We're going to be asking the question, is he good? Is he worth it? Let's go ahead and dig in. So when we're thinking about Ranan, we are thinking about a lightning mage type unit that is kind of specifically designed to counter Jaden, and he has kind of a variety of things in his kit to do that. However, what we're going to find though is that he is probably not going to be the best unit for countering Elena, and we're going to get into some of the specifics for that. He is one of the new Crystal Warrior units, so he is going to be 100 cost, and he will be on the Crystal Warrior banner. He's going to run really good with Ibarra, who is a GL exclusive. He's also going to run really well with Skahal EX. If you haven't seen the video where I kind of showcase Skahal EX and his capability of countering, it is really fun and really cool, and I recommend you check it out. But what's going on with Ranan? Why are we excited for him? Are we excited for him? He's a Crystal Thunder Warrior as his main job. He has access to Kododama and Mentor. He's going to use a rod, and he does get his own special rod, which does have Spirit Penetration 20. He's also going to get hat, cloth, and accessories for his equipment. And his TMR is actually pretty good. It's an accessory that gives 302 HP, defense 8, and spirit 8. What's nice about it is it gives magic 40% for 3 turns, and it grants haste 42% for 3 turns. I think there are, in the world of magic-based TMRs, there's a lot of TMRs that are pretty good, like Black Rose Helena's TMR or GL Zazan's Re-Raise TMR. Usually if a TMR is going to boost flat magic and give haste, I would say it's pretty good. I would say it's in the book of, if I was running a 5-man composition, I would possibly consider setting this. I can also see some shenanigans for haste in PvP. So I think overall it is a moderately good TMR. We saw, for example, Ibarra's TMR get some use with the movement up on it. So I do think we will see his TMR getting some use as well. His mastery ability is going to, of course, buff his lightning allies with the standard HP and lightning attack. He's going to get AoE resistance 10 for himself, and he's going to get activation skill time down 200. And candidly, I think activation skill time is one of those things that is kind of standard on mages almost nowadays. I think with the amount of mages that have instant cast or kind of sort of the likes of this, I think just having the cooldown reduction is pretty important for them. Taking a look at his stats, we're going to hop into the menu here. He does get magic 20% on his board, and his stats are a little bit meh, I would say. He comes in at 15% weakness to pierce. He does have 20% slash resistance. He's 5% weak to striking, 10% missile resistance, and 10% magic resistance. So, I mean, the fact that he has slash resistance, missile, and magic resistance is all good for him. He has stun resistance, which there's not very many units with stun and stop resistance, or slow resistance, sorry. But the fact that he only has 236 dexterity, 6 spirit, 63 agility, 522 magic, these are all things to consider when we are kind of looking in the long run. And to give you some perspective here, to compare his stats on the index, actually, you can see that his stats are very similar to Golbez. Golbez has 3,500 HP, Ranan has 3,500, almost identical magic, almost identical agility, almost identical dexterity. It's literally like they copied Golbez's stats and moved them over to Ranan. So when you're thinking about stats, when you're thinking about generalized accuracy for Ranan, you know, think about Golbez. Is your Golbez landing hits? Is your Golbez, you know, helping you when you're trying to go up against Elena? You know, if you're thinking of utilizing Ranan as a counter, you know, these are all things you want to think about, right? And Golbez even has the benefit, probably arguably more than Ranan does, of the Black Rose Helena TMR as well, likely being set in the party composition. So just keep that in mind. Where Ranan does excel at, though, is he does have some really nice spirit gain and some really defensive passives. So his main passive, the Magic of Thunder, Spirit 12, Spirit Penetration 40. This is going to be really powerful. I think, you know, anyone who is going to be running him, will probably be setting this. And then the second passive is really going to be up to you. You have options for magic up level 1, which will give magic 30% increase. You have decreases activation skill time. You have the guru knowledge, which will increase defense and spirit 15 for self and decrease magic attack 20 for self. You also have the blessing of water, which will give spirit 12 and water resistance 12%, which, you know, may be good when Astoria comes out in the future as well. So honestly, I think you could set any of these secondary passives or maybe adjust based off of the situation and you'll be good. He has a counter. For his main counter is going to be the Breath of Thunder, which is a 20% chance to proc, which will increase HP for self. We have the Kododama counter, which is a 20% to reduce damage 30%. And then we have Regeneration, which is a 20% chance to increase HP for self as well. So kind of more defensive counters. Nothing exciting like Skahal's counter, unfortunately, but maybe we'll find something reasonable inside of his kit here. His main ability is going to be Thunder, which is castable, and it is going to decrease magic resistance 25% for 3 turns to the target. So that's going to be 141% modifier. Has reasonable range, actually. Also has range height 2, only costs 6 AP. And then the other thing that's going to be interesting here is that he is going to be able to follow the target with this. Very similar to, you know, if you were just going to cast a normal lightning based spell or a normal thunder based spell on the opponent, he is going to actually be able to track that target. And what's interesting is he actually has an AoE ability which does track the target as well, which is something to consider too. His lightning area resistance is going to give, once it's upgraded, missile resistance 20% for 3 turns to allies. That's going to be in a square shaped area around him, and increased spirit 35 for allies as well. Really powerful against Jaden's. I think you're going to see him utilized against Jaden, against mages. Another ability he has, Protection of Thunder, reduces damage taken 50% for 3 turns. His upgrade for Seal of Shiden is going to break barriers on the opponent's target, reduce counter chance 100 for 3 turns, and deal a 200% modifier attack. This is a 4 range attack with a range height of 1. So this is one of the attacks you're probably going to see him use the most. His Lightning Fan Dance is going to have a 220% modifier AoE attack, which is important to note. This is a huge AoE. To be a 220% modifier. It's also going to have a 25% chance to inflict confusion for the target. So we could actually see this being used. And again, this has the targetable. It does have a cast time on it, but it is targetable on a unit. And I'm not sure how that's going to affect things in the long run. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to target a unit and then maybe that unit will move close to you and you'll end up killing yourself. I'm not sure how the AI is going to operate with this. So I'm kind of just looking at this and thinking about it. I'm kind of like, interesting. His job level 25 ability, Thunderbreak, is an instant cast. And it is going to dispel fatal damage, ignore fatal damage to targets. It's a cross-shaped attack. It has 4 range, effectively 5 range if you are looking at the cross-shaped aspect of it, and it's going to be 165% modifier. This is probably going to be the attack that people use him most for, just to dispel kind of guts-like abilities. But the first thing you're probably thinking about and you're looking at in here is he has no abilities with accuracy up, and that is correct. He does not. And that's going to really hurt him in terms of players wanting to pull for him. His secondary job ability is going to be capability to silence and slow your opponents. I don't think you'll be utilizing this very much. He does have a Dispel, Protect, and Shell, which is a double hit attack as well. So there is an element of him that could be used to potentially counter Protect and Shell, or even Chain in a PvE situation. Now, he does have, in Kododama sub, he does have a 100% hit attack ability, and it is going to have range height 1, but it's only going to be 3 range. And I think in most situations, 3 range is not going to be an effective enough range for having 100% hit chance for him. So I think what's going to happen is, you know, Elena's going to close the gap, or another evasion unit's going to close the gap. Maybe he'll get 1 hit off, but, you know, even though he has that 100% hit chance, he's still not going to be able to do Dispel, Ignore, Fatal Target to damage. And then you're sacrificing, you know, any of these abilities to potentially do a 100% hit chance attack. I mean, it's overall just kind of a mess. So, and not to mention, if you are subbing Kododama, that means you are not subbing Guru, which Guru does give more AoE resistance, more slash resistance. You can heal with it. You can buff with it, right? You can increase attack, magic, agility by 40%, and 25% for agility on an ally. You can restore HP on an ally. Like, all of this in sub Guru is going to be really good for him. So I would always want to sub him Guru, but I feel like you would have to sub him Kododama for the 100% hit chance, and it's not in his main kit. He doesn't have any abilities that give accuracy up in his main kit, or buff accuracy even. So just consider all of that as you're going through this. Finally, his limit break is going to give Spirit Penetration 40 for 3 turns, and then it's going to be a 200% modifier. So he'll have, effectively, if you set his Spirit Penetration passive, 80% Spirit Penetration. If you're using his staff, you will have 100% Spirit Penetration. 69 AP, instant cast, very similar to Medina's LB almost. Very powerful. The only problem is you're actually going to have to be able to hit your opponent. Now, Europa is going to come out with him. Taking a look at Europa's skill tree, lightning attack up, he has a little bit of accuracy. And then you are probably going to go for magic attack down here. In terms of the actual VC, Europa is going to have magic agility on it, HP 274, and then it's going to give magic 10%, HP 5%, and then it's going to give magic attack 35% for lightning units in the party. It's going to give agility 8% for lightning units in the party, and critical damage 25. Again, I think Ranan is a very cool unit. I think, you know, he does have access to Kododama sub, which will give him a 100% hit attack, but it's not going to be in his main kit. And honestly, sub Guru or sub Mentor is probably going to be a better sub for him anyway. I don't see Ranan rocking the meta. I don't think he's going to be worth that 42k viz. I think he would be really cool to pair with Ibarra, or potentially to help grow lightning chaining compositions. But I just don't see Ranan being incredible unless he gets some type of an accuracy buff, or we find a way to work him into a party with accuracy VCs on, like Igaion. It's going to be kind of a tough call to make. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. I'll probably be streaming Project Triangle Strategy after this video goes live, so make sure you swing by and watch me, and have a great rest of your day.